Welcome. This is Ultimate Expression Radio. I'm your host, Christopher Thompson. Going to give you your rundown for UFC this Saturday on May 18th. Also going to be talking with a pro fighter, Jonny Wester, out of Inferno MMA. He's going to have a fight in Hot Springs, Arkansas with Off The Cahin MMA. Keep it locked.
It says, you shall know the truth.
It is UFC on FX. So coming up in the main event, Vitor Belfort versus Luke Rockhold. So it's a 185-pound fight. Rockhold's first fight in the UFC, coming out of Strikeforce. He's coming in at 10-1. Belfort with the most experience at 22-10. Big in this fight, I'm leaning towards Luke Rockhold to take it. Our co-main event, Ronaldo Souza versus Chris Camozzi. Also a 185-pound fight. Leaning towards Camozzi to take this fight home. He comes in at 19-5, while Souza shows 17-3. Third fight out, Rafael Dos Anjos versus Evan Dunham. They both come in at 155 pounds. My favorite in the fight is Rafael. I'm looking for him to take home the win. And also Rafael Natal versus João Zeferino. Zeferino 13-4. Natal at 15-4-1. It's another fight at 185. They're trying to stir it up a little bit in the 185 division. Let's see where that takes us. I'm not really picking anybody there, but on the next fight, we got coming in 145 pounds. We got Akron Diaz versus Nick Lentz. Nick Lentz coming in at 25-5-2. Diaz at 21-1-1. Leaning towards Lentz. We'll see what happens there. Catch this fight this weekend, May 18th, on FX. Check your local listings. And I'll breeze through the rundown there because I'm excited about getting to the interview today. Fighting out of Hot Springs, Arkansas with Off The Cahin MMA this weekend, May 18th. I believe it's Hot Springs Convention Center. I'm going to interview pro fighter Jonny Let's Rock Wester. Fights out of Betonville, Arkansas with Inferno MMA. You want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about the fight, Jonny?
Yeah, I'm going to be fighting a guy named Adam DeRosset. It's going to be a fight at 170 pounds. It'll be my first fight in about 7 or 8 months, almost a year. And I'm not real sure when the last time he was fight. So we're both kind of getting back into the swing of things, knocking some rust off, and it's going to be a real good fight. Freddie's a pretty good boxer, and I've been working on my wrestling game and always my stand-up and my Muay Thai, so it should be a good fight.
Cool. I've seen you fight a few times. It's always exciting. One of my favorite fighters to come out and see you fight.
Yeah, I try to make them exciting.
What about tickets? How are people getting tickets to the fight this Saturday?
I know that you can get them at the door, and I haven't heard a whole lot about how much they're going to be. Usually they're about $20 to $30, but it's going to be an outstanding show, so it's well worth the price, whatever it is. And I know the show starts at 7:00. And it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be in Hot Springs at the Hot Springs Convention Center for Off The Cahin MMA. But yeah, it's gonna be a really good production. I know the guy that's putting it on, and he's always worked hard to make sure that it's a legitimate production and not just something kind of thrown together.
That's great. That's something that we need here in Arkansas. A little bit more promotion out there for the MMA.
Yeah,
I find the standards have been raised here in the last few years. It's really a lot of good competitors.
The level of competition has been going up like crazy, and now just getting the athletic commission and the production of the shows and everything to meet the standard that the fighters are setting And I think that Argentine MMA is going to be a really big deal here in the next couple of years.
Great. You're training out of Inferno, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how long you been training there?
I've been training at Inferno for about 5 years now, maybe a little bit less than 5 years, and they've brought me up from day one. I took maybe 2 Muay Thai lessons in California, and I came out here, and then Caleb Plank, Mike Page, my coaches at Inferno, they've raised me ever since, and I've been all around the world training and stuff, but I'm always coming back to Inferno. So I feel like it's the number one gym in the country, especially the number one unheard of gym in the country. But I think that's going to change pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I've been up there a few times for some of your seminars, and it's always good training with Caleb and the guys. You have a few pro fighters stopping in every now and then from other gyms, don't you?
Yeah, we had Miguel Torres come in a couple of times. I went up to Minnesota not too long ago to train with Sean Shirk and Pat Barry, and I've been talking to Pat about coming down and doing a seminar for striking. We had Sean Shirk come in. We've had quite a few really talented high-level guys come in to do seminars and do training camps with us. We've got a couple Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts that come in and out and help us work our Jiu-Jitsu game. So it's been really fortunate to be able to have that level of fighters coming in and out. Not so much for the training, but just as is letting me know that I'm doing the right things, and showing me that, hey, man, you're doing all the right things. You don't need to change anything.
Oh yeah, you don't want to wait you don't want to wait to the night of the fight and find out you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And that's one of the things that I was afraid of when I started traveling to other gyms and stuff, is that I was going to go there and find out that I'm in this little corner of the United States where we don't see a whole lot of MMA. What's it going to be like when I go to New York and all over the country and Brazil and stuff? And it's not that much different. We're doing all the same things, all the same moves. It's just in a different place, and that's been really reassuring.
Yeah, I see a lot of it going on. Fighters traveling around. Maybe sometimes you have the lure of other gyms out there. Sometimes they try and recruit other fighters from other gyms. Ever been any temptation to just move, stay in New York and train, or?
There have been, but a lot of it's been just kind of starry eyes. I went to New York and trained with Marcelo Garcia. Who doesn't want to stay there and train with Marcelo Garcia for the rest of their life in New York City? I mean, it's unreal to be able to train with those guys. But man, the friendships and the family that I've created at my gym have just been so much more to me that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I go. The people at my gym, they know exactly how I tick, how I operate, what they need to do to get me going. And there aren't other gyms that know that about me. I'd have to start at square one and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And I get the same level of training where I'm at now as anywhere else. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you see in the future anytime getting the call from Bellator, World Series of Fighting, or UFC?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I went and I guess I can talk about it now, but I went and tried out for the Bellator TV show, and they seemed to really like me. They liked my, I tried out, and they watched me grapple, they watched my stand up. They seemed to really like it. I think the biggest thing was I wasn't loud enough. I wasn't the cocky, arrogant, loud person that was making a big scene. I saw a lot of those people there doing that, and those were the guys that were getting called out.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because it's reality TV show, so that's kind of an obvious thing. But
yeah, and that's something we've seen. That's something we've seen in recent episodes of The Ultimate Fighter when we watch Chael Sonnen and John Jones there. I tend to enjoy more of the training aspects and stuff like that. So not so much as the clowning around and pranks they play on each other.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'll watch I love watching the countdown to UFC stuff. more than I like watching the actual fights. I get nervous watching the fights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I'll watch the fights and I get nervous and I feel like I'm about to fight, you know, but like when I watch the people training, that's what gets me going. That gets me excited. And then when people are talking, it's just like, you know, I want to smack my head because it's just, some of it's absurd.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't want to sacrifice who I am for, so that I can
Yeah,
make
you want
a
to
couple
maintain
extra
your
bucks.
integrity.
Yeah. I want to be able to. I don't want to have to put on a show every time I go out in public or do an interview or whatever. I just want to be me
Mm-hmm.
and not have to worry about that. It seems like a really stressful life to live that way, you know.
Oh, yeah. And I seen that when I first met you in your past, you was like a musician, or you done some traveling with the band.
Yeah. I was playing music for, let's see, I played music all the way through high school, and the summer that I got out of high school, I started touring professionally and, you know, making money that way.
Mm-hmm. What style of music was that?
I played a lot of pop punk style music, a lot of stuff like New Found Glory, The Wonder Years, stuff like that. And it seems like one of my bands actually now, Heart to Heart, they've been doing really, really well for themselves. They've been touring all over the country and making good money, and they got signed to a nice label and stuff. So they've been doing actually really well for themselves.
No, I found that kind of common with all the martial artists, at least that I've met. A lot of them are play music on the side, guitars, drums, bass, and stuff like that. Do you ever use any of their songs for a walkout?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm so bad with walkout music. I always have this idea that, like, oh man, this song is going to be awesome, but then I just get so distracted with training and so overwhelmed with everything that I by the time the fight comes, I totally forget about, you know, the walkout music and the CD. I always end up coming out to something I don't like, and it kicks in as I'm walking out. Like, man, I wish I would have got that song, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm lazy or because, you know, I just get overwhelmed with all the training stuff that I totally forget about the walkout music and stuff. Yeah.
When you're making that last tread, your focus seems to be on your opponent and what you're going to do to him, not really so much as what you're listening to.
Yeah.
So
the music that I'm listening to before the fight is usually nothing like what I typically listen to. It's usually real motivating stuff. I find a lot of YouTube videos that I'll watch and stuff like that. So it's usually, I'm not really listening to a whole lot of music before the fight. It's a lot of motivational kind of stuff.
That's cool. You do any meditation or anything like that, or just?
I do like the day of the fight a little bit. Not so much as like, you know, Buddhist meditation kind of thing, but you know, I'm really trying to focus all my energy and my brain on exactly what I'm going to be doing and so on and so forth. I did hot yoga yesterday, if that counts.
Yeah, yoga's pretty tough. For those that don't know, you got to attend the yoga class just to see what it's about. I know I've been to one, and it's totally different from what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, it's real stuff. I mean, like, I was at my gym. We have hot yoga where you're doing yoga in a sauna. Oh. And man, oh my gosh, when you're sore and you go and do that, it makes it feel so much better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does wonders for whenever you're sore and overtrained and everything.
Mm-hmm. For that pull muscle or pinch nerve.
Yeah. So that stuff is I mean, that'll get you straightened out and stretched out real fast. Oh yeah,
and just jumping back, starting out your amateur career, I believe you fought at 155 starting out.
Yeah. I fought at 155 for almost 20 fights.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you made the recent jump to 170.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It came because I stopped being able to make the 155 limit, and it was because I was putting on too much muscle. Whenever I was at 155, I had to diet 365 days a year. I mean, like, I'd fight, I'd go eat pancakes, and then I was back on my diet. I couldn't have a cheat day or anything like that because I'm so much taller.
Oh yeah.
And so we made the decision to move up to 170 because I didn't want to be the guy that never makes weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so we moved up to 170. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot more now. I still need to put on quite a few pounds so that I can cut down to 170 because right now I'm not walking around too heavy or anything. But so I've been trying to focus a little bit more on weightlifting, getting my strength and conditioning up a little bit more.
Oh yeah, because I know from times of training with you and just being around you, I know you guys are, you're not carrying around any fat. Most of that is muscle on there, so you're a big 170 guy. Yeah,
we're all pretty lean. My gym for some reason is like the tall skinny guy gym, and we're starting to get some diversity to it, but we're just now able to separate into different, our different weight classes at fight teams so we can practice with people a little bit closer to our weight.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what, after this weekend, what are you expecting to go from here? Any other, got your eye on any other fights or organizations, or just ready to get back in there and fight again?
Right now it's, I'm focusing on this fight first and foremost, and then after that, I'm going to go out to, I think I'm going to go out to Tampa and hang out with my friend, Vinay Nazare. He fought in Bellator for a little while. And I'm gonna kind of set my sights on Bellator, trying to jump in there, because I've kind of got a foot in the door right now. Just need to keep pushing on with it, get a couple more wins, and see where that takes me. As for, I've been looking around at, Legacy has been blowing up in Texas and stuff. I've been thinking about trying to get in contact with them and stuff like that. But
cool.
Really right now it's just whoever will take me, and trying to get my weight up so that I can accept a little bit bigger fights. I don't have to worry about the weight disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. See, I believe that'll do you good. Get some more fights in there, get more training, and spread your name around a little. Because I know the Bellator, I guess the reality series is getting ready to start up now sometime soon. I guess that's one with Randy Couture.
Yeah, and the craziest thing about the show was, like, when I went and tried out for it, they were turning away people for having too many fights.
Wow.
Like there was a guy that had 10 fights or something, and they were like, no, I'm sorry, we're not going to put you in there, and they wanted younger people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was looking at the cast, there was maybe 2 or 3 people that were under the age of like 28. And in MMA, 28 is you're starting to get a little bit old,
Yeah.
And but they have like Joe Riggs on there,
mm-hmm.
He's had he's had tons of fights.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by it because I don't recall seeing a single person on the cast that was at tryouts. So I think a little bit of it is a little bit of a political game.
Yeah.
To play with,
I remember watching Joe Riggs back in the UFC early days with Scott Smith and Chris Lytle and all those guys.
Yeah, and he had quite a few high profile fights.
Yeah.
And I think he fought Matt Hughes, didn't he?
I think so. What I remember from him is he's a 155er. He may have went dabbled between 155 and 170 though. Yeah, I can't remember for sure. I'm terrible about that, but I was blown away to see him on there because it was kind of they were turning away people for having too many fights and stuff, and then that comes up. But you see that on the UFC, the Ultimate Fighter stuff all the time too. Oh yeah.
A lot of guys, they're getting on there with, you'll see their record is like 0-1 or 1-0, when they require two fights, and you're like, okay, well, there's obviously a reason that they're on the show.
Oh yeah.
Doing the Kimbo Slice thing, getting a little bit of popularity, and then hopping on there.
Get some drive behind your name.
Yeah. I think Matt Mitrione was one of them that didn't hardly have any fights.
Yeah, I remember.
And they put him in there, and I think it was because of his NFL career.
Yeah, because he was a big NFL player before that.
Yeah. So they're selling views and stuff, trying to get that money. So.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see where this takes you, and You got the Fighters Almanac project still going, right?
Yeah, it's been kind of on hiatus right now because I've moved down to at my job. I've moved down to like working like 2 days a week, and just focusing on fighting. My girlfriend's been like amazing, helping support me and
That's cool.
getting bills paid and stuff. And so I feel like it's a little bit of an injustice for me to go and travel all over the place, spend money visiting these gyms while she's at home working,
Oh yeah.
And so,
I know what you mean.
whenever she's working, I better be in the gym working too, because it's not fair for me to be out traveling, having fun while she's working her butt off trying to support my dreams,
Oh yeah, I got to share the load.
Yeah, so it's been on a little bit of a hiatus, but I plan on, trying to pick it back up here and there,
All
getting
right.
some more trips in.
So when you go down to Florida or Texas, wherever you go, don't forget to take a little camera with you because we want to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I'm gonna go train at Hobson Moore's gym for a little bit.
Oh, great.
And visit some of those guys. Those guys have got incredible jiu-jitsu. It's just insane.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. Say any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out to? I know you got some sponsors, Cruise Combat, those guys.
Yeah, Cruise Combat's been amazing. They've been really good sponsor for me. Just anytime I need some shorts, they print them up. They're selling me patches, helping my name get out there. Ultimate Expression. You've been there since the very beginning, helping me out, sent me out to World Muay Thai Championships, printing up T-shirts, all that stuff. You guys have been great.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. So right now I don't have too many sponsors, so got to get those high-profile fights.
Oh yeah, and if anybody's out there listening, be sure to contact them at Inferno MMA. Get a hold of Caleb or Jonny himself.
Yes, please.
All right. We're just going to wrap it up for the interview today and get down to Hot Springs out there to see Off The Cahin MMA, see Jonny Wester fight. He's going to be on the main card. I think they got 5 pro fights that's going on there. He'll be down there towards the end, and it's one that you don't want to miss. Mr. Hands of Steel, you're going to see him rock on Saturday night.
Yep, for sure.
And that's going to wrap it up for your Ultimate Expression radio show. Giving you your rundown. We're going to check the calendar. UFC on May 25th. Cain Velasquez, Bigfoot Silva, 5-round heavyweight title match. Check that out. It's going to be pay-per-view. Also, locally, coming up June 15th, we're going to have the Spa City Stomp Out in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And coming up June 29th in Fort Smith, Arkansas, XFI MMA. Later in July, be July 20th up in Branson, Missouri. We're going to have Show Fight. I believe that's Show Fight 27. Ultimate Expression will be a big sponsor there at that event. Make sure you get up there, check out all these local MMA events, support those, support the fighters, and check out our line of apparel at ultimate-expression.com. You'll be able to see the link there, link to our store. Check out all our gear there. Represent us. We represent the fighters, giving them the voice in MMA, combat sports. That does it for me. I'm Christopher Thompson. I'm out of here till next time.